It looks like these construction workers decided to play some dominoes, but wait for it. They must get paid by the hour. Now check out this guy who gets paid for every yard of pavers he lays. That's the most motivated employee, apping the dough ready for wontons and is about to roll them, but wait a second, she's already wrapping them. Take a closer look. The operator of this excavator could be a plastic surgeon. Look at how accurately he removes the lawn with a giant bucket. This guy doesn't need lines to paint a sports ground perfectly. This man found a way to restore faded plastic seats with a flamethrower. The color comes out with a high temperature, but thanks to this guy's skills, the plastic doesn't have time to melt. Here's one of those jobs that robots will do in the future. This guy throws each 19-kilogram bottle into a rack in just 1 second and does so all day. And now you're gonna learn how to make a fence. These people are pouring superheated metal with a temperature of 950 degrees Celsius in sync so that it evenly distributes throughout the frame. This guy's so cool that he can easily throw boxes with glass bottles 2 meters high and not break a single bottle throughout his shift. What? Now that's what I call real teamwork. Each of these men's safety depends on the timing of everyone else's hits. Here is the coolest way to cut a watermelon you've ever seen. This Mongolian genius only needs 20 seconds to provide everyone with the perfect piece. This girl makes 100 candies per minute using nothing but the power of her arms and this simple device. And now you're about to learn how. Still looks like magic to me. This man must have a black belt in washing windows. This daring worker has just started unloading a dozen tons of cement from a cargo ship onto a conveyor belt. Whoa! I bet this gardener handles a hedge trimmer better than your barber handles a beard trimmer. Am I the only one who immediately wanted to lie down on this bush? This girl can count money with her 5 fingers faster than a money-counting machine. If you want to learn how to do it too, here's a slow-motion tutorial for you. Here's how they clean the streets in China. They seem to use some kind of pressure washers on steroids. Meanwhile, in Russia, they're still using homemade brooms. It may look like this video's sped up, but in fact, it's the delivery worker packing the box in just 8 seconds. Just one perfect motion with a spatula and those holes disappear. But what is this repair magic? Remember that snake game? Well, these people came up with a real man's version, where instead of a snake, they use metal heated up to 1,000 degrees Celsius. Next time your mom tells you that Minecraft can't teach you anything, show her this video. If you think that this is just a sugar baby next to a cool car, then you are very mistaken. This girl is second to none when it comes to doing vinyl wraps, so she's trusted with even the most expensive sports cars. During a downpour, a drain on the highway became clogged. It quickly flooded and traffic just stopped. But this road worker rushed to clear it with his bare hands. Look at that, he cleared that and look at that, go! Amazing, oh! Da-da-da-da-da. It's that tough. It's unbelievable. That soil started circling. That guy is a check out how perfect the road looks, thanks to him. Going in the downtown, this girl is called to remove some bees from someone's property because she's so skilled that she can move the bees with her bare hands. If you were wondering how people were able to build the Egyptian pyramids from perfectly cut stones without special equipment, well, here is your answer. And this is the most satisfying builder ever. Did you even notice how awesome that wall turned out? The two in the back are pulling concrete from the high spots so the guy in front can just walk back smoothly because the quality of the future home's foundation depends on his accuracy. Here's how a professional can restore your headlights with acetone vapor polishing. Do you think this video is playing in reverse? Nope. This painter is painting a white brick wall to make your favorite red bricks. But this guy doesn't just cut glass, he cuts it like a boss. Polyurethane foam doesn't look like something you can handle perfectly, but this builder will surprise you. I can't believe two things: that metal can be cut so easily with scissors, and that a roof can be laid so perfectly. Here's how they fix cracks in the road. They pour the hot asphalt, and then a worker smooths it out in the most satisfying way. This guy came up with an ingenious method for making a glass screw using a screwdriver. Look at how masterfully he handles the 1,400 degrees Celsius heated glass. Chinese girl isn't shy about how difficult it is for her to work on a construction site, but take a look at this perfect result. She's definitely cooler than me. This is the dirtiest pool you've ever seen, but it's being handled by a pro. He pumps out the dirty water and then manually removes all the disgusting sludge and completely replaces the old liner. A little cleaning of the sides and a showdown with the locals, and hell, I'd even like to take a swim there. I just want to do my job with the same confidence that this girl has while handling your AliExpress order. You can wait for your pizza forever with how masterfully this guy handles the dough. And this is what builders who got their qualifications from Minecraft look like. They're completely unaffected by gravity and adjust the size of a brick by sight. If this guy were paid $100 for each share, he would have made $16,000 in 10 seconds. It would take a janitor all day to clean up these leaks, but for the guy in the helicopter, it's just a couple of seconds. If you thought the black lines were part of the design too, then the guy with the steam cleaner has some bad news for you. Here is what the last waterbender looks like. This guy's speed means he never has to take or cope with him. I wish I had superpowers on Fridays. If you think this filthy pool is a lost cause, give these guys some time. they were able to clean that by hand, they can clean anything. It looks like the workers at this construction site haven't been paid yet, so they're taking their sweet time. But suddenly, the money hit their bank accounts. Then here, we have the Tetris champion of the universe. This airport worker knows how to fit 100 suitcases in the small cargo hold of a plane. So that's where all the cracks in my luggage came from. In America, it only takes a few minutes to prune trees, thanks to the geniuses behind the wheel of this boom mower. Meanwhile, somewhere in Russia, when a country doesn't allocate a budget to improve the roads, this guy gets to work with his noodles. I wonder if we could build a house out of noodles, like out of my parents' garage. When choosing an expensive brick house, make sure this guy hasn't painted it. I bet you didn't know how to paint a 2-meter fence in 2 seconds. If Arnold Schwarzenegger were a resident of Indonesia, this is how he would make a living. And this guy is a master of balance. This is how AliExpress employees work on your order extra fast delivery. Nearly massive flood. The road literally disappeared, and this man took it upon himself to clean out the drain. Here we go. Here's the what it looks like now. Thanks to him last year, it's gonna throw it back in. I'm looking at debris all over the road. We are all clear. This is how Oregon sells 7.3 million Christmas trees a year. Ladies and gentlemen, standing before you is the legend who completed the GTA helicopter mission on his first try. And this is the guy behind all the perfect Christmas trees. Now, you know that the secret to perfectly even parking lot lines is a level 100 driving skills of this worker. Well, bet you like that this road worker can connect these 2 lines on his first try. This man could replace an entire brick factory. Look at how quickly he makes bricks out of clay. While some people can't even cut along the dotted line with scissors, this guy can cut grass perfectly along the concrete path. But this gardener can cut perfect decorative grass lines by hand without any reference. This server looked like a hellish puzzle until this man got his hands on it. You suddenly need another door, just call this guy with the buzzsaw and he'll cut it out quickly. That's a toy car. It's actually an operator lifting a 30-ton concrete mixer in the largest dam in Turkey. This is how Superman would remove rust from metal with his laser vision if he worked in a factory. Thanks to this genius, passing cars won't dump a puddle on you. What's the difference? How dirty a place is, this guy'll get it back in a perfect condition with his pressure washer. Hey, somebody give me that guy's phone number. I need to clean my room. Look at how this woman makes a never-ending string of pasta out of batter and start questioning the laws of physics like I am now. How long do you think that thing ended up being? Write in the comments. This city doesn't need special equipment to mark their streets because they have this guy who can do it faster and just by eye. No, this enormous barge isn't sinking. That's just the fastest way the crew can unload the timbers and the big trains. Before everything went underwater. This auto shop worker is so precise, she easily cuts through the vinyl over a Porsche's tires without even looking. This is what aircraft recycling looks like. Oh, by the way, this guy gets paid by the hour. A true dream job. You're looking at a true jack of all trades. Not only can she knock down a whole tree herself, but also fix everything in the bathroom just like a plumber. I love the way this blacksmith uses his gas welding torch. And this woman spends her weekends just like Tony Stark. With a little tar and some gravel, these road workers can make any hole disappear without blocking a road all night. And here's how these fellas make a sidewalk out pavers without actually using pavers. Looks like if you're skilled enough, you can make boards even more perfectly than in a factory, just like this woodworker. And here's the largest chainsaw in the world in action. Now tell this girl how hard it is for you to put socks on before work in the morning. This worker never uses wallpaper on walls because he does something more interesting than plain old wallpaper. Now, you know how huge statues stay perfectly clean for years. This is how the fountains or stone monuments are made. This lineman found a way to avoid wasting time climbing stairs while working. One little worker is all it takes to launch such an enormous ship on the water. It would have taken a whole team of people to lift this 200-kilogram clock if this excavator operator hadn't maxed out his skills. While you're still struggling to squeeze out the right amount of shaving foam, this worker is perfectly insulating his home with a sprayable polyurethane foam. All this guy needs to assemble a pipe is a chain, and it's worth watching. And here you can see the most unusual way to use a lawnmower ever. And this is how tree workers have to work in Mexico. I hope he gets paid well for trimming those palm trees. Now, you get to know how to stack a whole pile of trays in just 5 seconds. It looks like this hairdresser is bullying a poor balding man. But in fact, she knows just how to restore his hair. Literally a barbershop from GTA. And here's how you get rid of the bubbles in an epoxy resin. This is what a true master can turn an ordinary broken glass bottle into. Huge drills need huge drill bits, and this worker knows exactly how to sharpen them. There are just 3 things in this world that you can stare at forever. This worker send it. No, wait, nope, that's all. Even if you get hungry on Mount Everest, no problem, because this courier can deliver your order anywhere. And if you didn't know that this kind of wall covering is made by throwing ordinary pebbles, that's some fresh concrete. This worker loaded on his head. Write the answer in the comments. And then this lumberjack is so badass, he can fell 50 pine trees by cutting down just one. Watch till the end. You're tired. Look at what lights you have to go to when someone throws a wrapper on your fresh concrete. I can't even imagine what a guy has to do to impress a girl if she's cutting down such huge pine trees with one saw every day. Construction wisdom says there's no such thing as a wrong piece of metal, only scissors that aren't sharp enough. Here's a typical workday for a level 100 loader. By the way, each bag weighs 50 kilos. If you had enough of your neighbors, this guy could build a fence between you in just a couple of minutes. This builder is so good, he can even build invisible houses. The problem is, you can't seem to get around them. This excavator deserves every penny he gets. Not even a 2-meter high wall can stop him. Here's how a painter can completely renew the look of an old railing by simply applying some primer.